When you obey God, He will then unlock your spiritual gifts. A couple years ago, I remember a long time ago, ever since I was little, I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be like all these celebrities, and then I ended up finding out what these people had to do for fame and for money and what they did to keep their status. And I was like, oh wow, if this is true, then God has to be real. And so I started to try to talk to God, and I just felt this peace. I started to try to read my Bible, which was very difficult for me. I tried many times and I closed the book and I was like, nope. And then I tried again and I tried again. But yeah, fast forward. The closer I got to God, I thought, okay, people need to know, I feel like God is real. People need to know. And I felt this heavy, strong urge to post about God. It was so strong. I didn't want to do it because I was so embarrassed, and I don't know why I was embarrassed, but I was embarrassed to talk about God. And I ended up just posting that one quote, which was difficult for me again. And after that, I kept feeling that strong urge. I didn't want to do it at all, but I felt like I had to do it. And I know that was God, So I did. And I remember after probably doing it 6 times and being obedient to God, I then started to have visions. And these visions only happened in the mornings. It never happened at nighttime. So it was kind of like when you're waking up. Yeah, so it would only happen at that time. And these visions were very, I would say, like small visions, because the ones that I had later on were more intense and more real, and that's when I felt God's presence. But these ones were kind of like visions that I would see, and then I would read the Bible, and then I would see that in the Bible, and I'm like, no way. And I would start crying, like I literally just had a vision about that. And I didn't think that happened to people at my, like in this day and age. I just thought that was something that happened back then. Yeah, I didn't know that people had visions today. So yeah, I kept being obedient, and then the visions progressed and it got more intense. And the final one that I had, which was, I was like, yeah, I started to pray and ask God to, I prayed and I asked God to not let me have visions anymore, because it was too scary. And but yeah, one day God wants to do it again. I definitely would want that again, because if that's what God wants, then yeah. But it was just too scary for me at the time. And in this specific vision, I could feel God's presence, and it was just so heavy. And I talked about it already on this page, I think, but I might redo it. But yeah, it was very, very intense. It was a lot for me, and I remember I wasn't being obedient to God. I still knew that He existed, but I just didn't. I knew that I was not going to go to heaven. So basically what that vision was is the rapture, which I didn't even know. I heard about the rapture, but I didn't know that's what it was called. And I didn't really believe it. But when that vision happened, it was just like everything was just fully confirmed. There was no denying it. This is all real, and God is real. But yeah, be obedient to God, and then maybe one day you'll have visions too. Or maybe speak in tongues, or whatever your gift may be. But you'll only unlock that when you'll be obedient to God. So